If you have to quote controversy, all you have to do is adopt a name, Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal and controversies go hand in hand. We have Arvind Kejriwal with us on Headlines today. Arvind, welcome. Why is it that whatever you do ends up in a controversy or something which completely blows out of proportion?
I don't think so. All that we are doing is that the people of this country are very angry against corruption and the price rise. We are also very ordinary people, very common people, and we basically represent that anger against corruption. And the moment we say anything against corruption, it is termed as controversy. So be it.
No, but why is it that allegations are leveled against you, that you hog on to the limelight, you pick up issues that are definitely going to be headlines?
We pick up issues which are close to the heart of most of the people. We talk about issues which most of the people want to talk about. Many of them are scared, they can't talk about it, and when we talk about, the people immediately it gels with everyone. Maybe that is the reason that we are speaking the truth, and we are daring to speak the truth, which many people are scared of speaking.
You mean to say that you're touching a raw nerve wherein the people of the country are unable to actually give a voice to their opinion and you're voicing them?
That is right. In fact, there are two objectives of our entire campaign. One objective is that we want to expose this entire political establishment, that this entire political establishment, cutting across party lines, most of them are corrupt, and their only purpose is to somehow gain power and to make money. And they are all in hand in gloves with each other. BJP, Congress, SPBS, they are all hand in gloves with each other. There's so much of evidence coming. The second purpose of our campaign is to take the fear out of the heart of the people. People are very scared in this country. They are scared about to talk about corruption. ये कर दिया, इसका नाम ले दिया तो क्या होगा इसका. For instance, Robert Vadra's case.
Yes.
The day we exposed this, at least two editor-in-chiefs of TV channels called me up and they said they had all the information, but they did not have the courage to talk about it.
Because are you serious? Two editor-in-chiefs of news channels called you up and said they didn't have the courage to.
They didn't have the courage. They had all the media. They said the family was untouchable, but they said now since you have done it, we are going to dig out more. So it's a great thing. We took the initiative. So our purpose is to take the fear out of the heart and minds of most of the citizens in this country and to prepare the people to completely overthrow and overhaul this system.
Great. Now let me just play a devil's advocate today. Let me just don the mantle of, say, a Congress person, a BJP leader, whatever is the political spectrum, and level allegations which they have been voicing in their own terms. Rashid Alvi, Congress spokesperson, says that you're a publicity hogger. You love to publicize yourself. Take the cameras out of Arvind Kejriwal's face for 3 months, he's dead.
So please do that. Take the cameras off. We are not asking. You see, the media is not in our control. It is not that we are controlling the media and media is helpless before us. Media, to some extent, could be said to be influenced by the government. The government still has a lot of control over media in many ways. So why doesn't Mr. Rashid Alvi use his influence and ask all the media channels not to cover Arvind Kejriwal or the entire movement? He can easily do that. Why are they saying that? The problem is that these people are completely cut off from the people of this country. They don't even know what the people are feeling. They don't even understand the anger of the people. And they take, the moment you raise your voice against corruption, they make all kinds of stupid allegations.
Let me just raise another issue which you raised in one of your tweets. You said that isn't there a transfer policy for IAS officials in Haryana? It's pertaining to Khemka's transfer. Now, the Haryana government's response is that it has been done because of an order which was there from the Punjab and Haryana High Court. Also, that Mr. Khemka was holding 2 charges. He had himself requested that he be relieved of one of the charges in August, 1st of August. He was relieved of one of the charges, given a new posting. The 2 orders which he passed thereafter were after his transfer. Orders were given, which means that the order regarding undervaluation of property pertaining to Robert Vadra, that order was invalid, and also the order regarding the cancellation of mutation is invalid. What is your response to that?
So whatever you said in the last 2 or 3 minutes is so technical that the people can see through it. The people can easily see through it. What is the truth? What is the issue? The issue is whether the deal struck by Mr. Robert Vadra is fair or not. The second issue is, should Mr. Robert Vadra be investigated? These are the two issues. The Haryana government is trying to get into the technicalities and to sideline these issues and say, no, this deal was cancelled after the transfer order and before the transfer order, and so this is not valid. And that's, come on.
The Haryana government is trying to say that Mr. Khemka is trying to utilize an issue, get Robert Vadra's name attached to him, and play a victim.
Ashok Khemka is also publicity hungry. Arvind Kejriwal is also publicity hungry. Anna Hazare is also anyone who raises his voice against corruption is publicity hungry. And the people in power who are looting this country are doing the right thing.
Okay. Now here is another allegation which has been leveled against you, that you try and jump from one issue to the other. The moment you found that steam was coming out of the Robert Vadra issue, you sidetracked that, you jumped on to Salman Khurshid's expose, which Headlines Today had shown.
This many people have told me, that we don't take the issue to logical end.
Yes.
When you say that we don't take the issue to logical end, there is an assumption that in this present system, it is possible to take the issue to logical end if you have patience and if you do it through perseverance, which I beg to differ. In this present system, you cannot take the issue to logical end. That is the problem. For instance, in Robert Vadra's case, we put out all the documents in public domain. After that, how do you ensure a fair investigation against Mr. Robert Vadra? Ashok Khemka tried to do an investigation, he was transferred out. Robert Vadra in this country cannot even be investigated. Forget about sending him to jail or punishing him. That is what we are exposing for the people of this country, that you can do whatever. There is a ruling class.
You are convinced that Robert Vadra cannot be investigated?
He cannot be. Even Nitin Gadkari cannot be investigated. Salman Khurshid cannot be investigated. No one in this country can be investigated and punished. There is a ruling class. That ruling class will always rule the people of the. Who can be investigated? Ordinary people. If some person, suppose an ordinary vendor sits on a footpath and tries to sell his vegetables, he will be thrown out, he will be asked for a bribe, he will be thrown out, he will be beaten up by the policeman. He is the person who faces the music. And there is a ruling class, they will loot this country for 10,000 crores and 1 lakh crores and nothing will happen to them.
Allegations have been leveled against you. Subramaniam Swamy, who himself has been quite a crusader per se within inverted quotes against the Gandhi family, claims that you deliberately omitted Sonia Gandhi from any of the allegations being leveled, and you simply targeted Robert Vadra because that was the best way to get publicity and to get your political party running.
Mr. Subramaniam Swamy is doing the job. He is targeting Mrs. Gandhi and others. So it's not that we have to do everything. He is doing that job. So why should we get into everything? Number one. Number two is, we don't have any evidence against her. We don't talk without evidence. And that is the reason that there is some degree of credibility attached to our movement. So unless there is an evidence, we will not speak against anyone.
What is your response to your great friend from JDU, Mr. Sharad Yadav, who says that you're raising issues of family ties and Robert Vadra, which is actually diversion from the core issue of corruption, and that you are unnecessarily trying to hog the limelight because that's the best way in which you can get sustenance or publicity for your political party, which is yet to get its name?
I think Mr. Sharad Yadav has also said that we should not target families.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So that is exactly what we are exposing, and he stands exposed. What we are saying is that there is a very unholy nexus and unholy agreement amongst all the parties that we will not target each other. You should not target us, we will not target you. If we are in power, we will not punish you. If you are in power, don't punish us. No investigations against each other. Let's talk about corruption. Corruption is bad. Government is working on corruption. So just keep on repeating these sentences. This is exactly what we are trying to expose, and Sharad Yadav stands exposed today.
You think BJP also is in truck with this?
Exactly.
But why?
There is so much of evidence in the next few days. And coal scam, BJP is a beneficiary, Congress is a beneficiary, Biju Janata Dal has given coal blocks to Naveen Jindal.
Yeah.
I mean, across party lines they are favoring each other. So whoever is in power, everyone across the political spectrum is a beneficiary of this power structure.
How do you end up antagonizing everybody? I mean, BJP leader.
We are not antagonizing everyone. We are fighting against this corrupt system. We want to overthrow. Gandhiji said, "Paap se ghrina karo, papi se nahi." We have nothing against any individual. We have nothing against any party. We want to change this system.
How do you respond to this, which Meenakshi Lekhi, a BJP leader, said on our program that you deliberately did not put out any evidence or any name or any connection whatsoever of Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi while you were coming out with an expose of Robert Vadra, because possibly the gentleman is a liability to the Gandhi family?
Why doesn't BJP do that? It is their job. They are
So
the
possibly you are in truck with the Congress. That's why, I mean, you're trying to help them out. Is
Right.
what was the implied meaning?
No, I think it clearly shows that BJP is in truck with Congress. BJP and Congress are have an unholy nexus. We at least said something against Robert Vadra. BJP doesn't even say that. So I think there's a very cushy arrangement between BJP and Congress.
Another question. Mr. Digvijay Singh is on record saying that you went to him in 2005-2006, sought his help and blessing so that you could become a member of the NAC, and he now praises Sonia Gandhi's wisdom that she did not approve of your name.
Why should I try to become NAC member? What power does an NAC member have? The only privilege that they enjoy is that they can sit with Mrs. Gandhi and have a cup of tea. I don't think I have any such ambition, so I don't know what he's talking. I never went to him.
Are you definite you never approached him?
Of course.
NAC was never a list of priority for you?
Of course. Why should I? I mean, I don't know what he speaks. Every day he just gets up and makes completely. So
But
I
why
don't
would you
think
say
it's
something
worth.
like this?
You have to ask him. So I won't like to make any react on any of his comments. It's completely, it's it's hilarious actually.
I mean, there was an off-the-record mention as well that you felt quite offended that Ms. Aruna Roy was there on the
Of course
NAC
not. I
panel
have so
and
much
you
of
were not.
I have so much of respect for her. There are two people, Mrs. Aruna Roy and Annaji. I have learnt so much from both of them, and I consider both of them as my guru. And I was very happy when she was there. I used to meet her very often. I used to tell her, and she would take the issues to NAC. Why should I try to become an NAC member?
Do you think NAC has any purposeful function in our, entire setup, entire framework?
I really don't know. I mean, there are definitely some areas, especially RTI Act and NREGA. These are two very concrete outcomes of NAC. But now I don't.
You were involved with RTI, so
I
don't
was
you think
involved
that
with RTI. I
NAC
was
would
very.
have helped you better if you had been there?
No, I don't think so. Mrs. Roy was there. Arunaji was there. So we were working through her.
Now, another question which keeps popping up off and on. Is it true that you sometimes try and target a political party, then you think, oh, I'm targeting this party a bit too much, let's get to B party, C party. I mean, why is it that everybody thinks that you are the B team of every other political party?
On the contrary, I think most of the other parties are becoming our B team. We take up an issue and 2 or 3 days later, rest of the parties talk about the same thing. We took up electricity issue and 2 days later BJP started talking about it. We gave a call in Delhi that don't pay electricity bills, and suddenly 2 days later BJP started talking about it. We said that there should be a white paper on the linkage between Haryana government, Robert Vadra and DLF, and 2 days later Digvijay Singh said that yes, there ought to be a white paper. So who is whose B team? I think these parties have become the B team of this movement. And let me also tell you that all these parties, their foundation is corruption, crime, nepotism. And when you are walking on the path of truth and sincerity and honesty, I think they just don't stand anywhere. I used to think that most of these people are very powerful, the parties are very powerful. But since we started this movement, since this has been going on, suddenly you find that these people just don't, I mean, in front of truth, they just can't stand.
I mean, is it what you find with BJP as well? Like you're going to
All of
expose
them,
their
all of
president?
them, all of them.
But whatever you come across till now, I mean, BJP's Arun Jaitley is on record saying that you jump upon and latch upon sting operations like Operation Dhrashtra, and you actually hog the limelight, but you should know where you stand, and that whatever you might be coming out with against Mr. Gadkari actually none of this is based on any solid foundation. It's just hearsay.
We have not even said anything against Gadkari, and they've already started reacting. Isn't it hilarious? Isn't it funny? They say chor ki dadi mein tinka.
So what earlier when you actually came up with the fact that Nitin Gadkari had in a way influenced things with the irrigation scam in Maharashtra, do you have solid proof for that?
Anjali, in one of the interviews, said that she met one political leader, and that political leader tried to influence her, and he said that he can't do anything. And after an hour or so, Nitin Gadkari said, no, she did not meet me.
Okay.
He didn't take the name. It was he himself. वो कहते हैं ना चोर की दाढ़ी में तिनका. So he himself admitted that she actually met him.
So BJP ki daadi mein tinka, I mean, what is it that you are going to actually come about with? Obviously, you may not divulge the details of it, but do you think it's good enough for the BJP to stand up and say, we didn't do it?
Let's see in the coming days what is it that comes out. You see, what is happening is that since we started this, lots and lots of people are sending their details. Lots of people are sending evidence of corruption by top political leaders. These mango people in this country, Aam Aadmi, will become the reason for the downfall of this entire corrupt political system. And these mango people are uniting.
I mean, so the evidence which is sent to you by the inverted quotes mango people, do you verify them yourself?
Yes, we do. That is the reason. Whatever evidence comes to us, for instance, this morning, I got a phone call from some very big politician, and he gave me huge amount of leads. Through the day we verified it was all false. Nothing of it was correct. So I think he was taking us in a completely different direction.
So you do
so
get
we
these
do a
cranky calls
lot.
as well.
We do a lot of homework.
So Arvind Kejriwal, all the best with your homework, and I hope you come out with something which actually puts BJP in the dock, as you presume you would be. Thanks a ton for speaking with Headlines.